Hey, I'm Max Dadlift, and this is another shed session. So, originally I was planning to talk about squats, particularly the low bar squat, and some of the differences in form and purpose that you might get from it just based on, the nature of the squat itself, the barbell location on your shoulders, and how that throws off the different alignments and recruits different muscle groups. But I kind of got to thinking that's been done probably 1,000 times on YouTube by guys who can do it a lot better than I can. So I decided instead to go a little off script. I say off script, I never really script any of this, but wanted to talk about something that, I felt you'd only get from me. So I know that if you've been catching my training sessions the past couple weeks, you've been seeing me toying with this idea in Friedrich Nietzsche's Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Don't worry, this isn't going to get too wild. He talks about the three metamorphoses of the soul that people go through. And those metamorphoses are the camel, the lion, and the child. And this has kind of been bouncing around in my head for the past couple weeks. But basically, if you guys haven't seen the other videos, stage one is the camel, and that's just kind of the dutiful soldier who shoulders every burden that's put on him, whether he asked for it or not, or whether it's really his business. And these burdens are, expectations from family, societal expectations, cultures, religion, what have you. After a while, the camel gets fed up with it and becomes the lion, and the lion's job is to roar, I won't. So he takes, Nietzsche describes it as a golden dragon, where the word thou shalt is written on every scale. And the lion roars, I won't, at this dragon. Um, and he starts discarding the burdens that, weren't really his. So not only that weren't really his, but kind of discards everything, checks out and lets everything fall to the ground. Um, Eventually, after losing all that in the lion versus dragon fight, you do realize, there are valuable things in there. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And Nietzsche describes the third phase as the child, and there's an innocence and a spirit of play that comes into it. And you start creating your own value or picking up the things from your culture, tradition, religion that are valuable and applicable to you. It's where you kind of start to forge your own path and follow your conscience in a way, follow your heart, what Disney always tells us to do. Um, that has led me to thinking a lot about how do I help people identify the burdens that are theirs to carry, but also some of these, everyone says, oh, there are societal expectations put on you. But if you're a fish in water, you don't know you're wet, right? So probably over the next couple of weeks, we're gonna talk about some of these narratives that you've been fed that you've probably just taken for granted, um, but that secretly eat at you. Because I know that a wasp, they've been you know they've impacted me, and I didn't really realize it until I had a name to put on them. So probably the next 4 or 5 weeks we'll talk about some of those. But just quick personal story to kind of set that is like, as a kid, probably fourth or fifth grade I was always in the gifted classes. So they took you out of class and had you go sit with the other special smart kids, right? Quote unquote smart, to do more challenging lectures so that you wouldn't be bored in class and they could invest in the best and brightest. Uh, and then all through school, I did that. I got decent grades, but never straight A's. I'd get A's and B's and the occasional C. And every adult in my life told me, "Hey, you're smart. You do a good job, but you could do better." Uh, and 100% of them who said that, they meant it as words of encouragement and because they believed in me. But to a kid, you kind of hear that and it's like, hey, I know you're putting in the effort, uh, but you're not doing enough. And it turns that potential from a bit of a hopeful thing into a kind of a burden or a debt that you wake up paying down every day, and you're only making the interest payments. You think, man, I've been given all of this, and what have I done with it? Especially to a kid that's encouraging, maybe to a 35-year-old project manager. You kind of look back and be like, I'm disillusioned with creating shareholder value. I do it to put food on the table, but I don't find meaning in it. Um, so where do you go from there? First thing probably is recognizing, that you've been swimming in that your entire life, and realizing that it's not true. Instead of looking at every day as a debt you have to pay down, think of it as, these are God-given gifts. Was I a good steward of them? Did I do what I had to in the moment with the gifts I was given? I'm a little rambling a little bit probably. Um, so one of the things that I do with these shed videos is I never go in with a script. I always kind of have a loose plan, and I just go off the top of my head. And part of the reason I do that is, one, selfishly, I feel like it's going to help me be more articulate off the cuff as I go. It's good practice for just talking into a camera, right? Um, but the second piece, and what I think is probably more valuable, is YouTube and social media is full of folks who are, polished, rehearsed, they've been PR'd to death, and they all have airbrushed abs and quick talking points, right? Everything you see around you is kind of fake and rehearsed. I don't want to be part of that. And I kind of want to show, we're all work in progress. We're in the act of becoming together at once. We are not done until we are, till we're dead. So, I know it's a weird way of making a rant into a camera sound more noble than it really is. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you want me to explore this topic a little further? We'll go ahead and, next week we'll get into the first couple of these, narratives that are fed to you by billion-dollar algorithms, that your brain is just not used to parsing out unless you're aware of it. Um, or if you just want me to, say, Max, shut up and talk about squats, let me know. We can do that too. But anyway, one of the goals of this channel and Dadlift Nation is to build a community of people who, we're not just looking to get a higher deadlift. We're looking to build the strength to carry what matters. And that's spiritually, emotionally, physically, uh, as fathers, as husbands, and as lifters. So on the surface, it just, starts in as meathead stuff, but there's more to it. And I'd like to figure that out together. So thank you for your time. We'll catch you next week, and have a great weekend.